Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of High School Sports here on your High School Sports Leader, Oregon Sports Beat. Tonight, from Delta Park, it's a girls lacrosse game we'll be bringing to you, and it'll feature the girls from Central Catholic High School, the girls from Hood River High School. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Hall. I'll be calling the play-by-play tonight. Working with me, my broadcast partner, Steve Roberts. And Steve, kind of a dreary night to play lacrosse, but both teams are out on the field. We're almost ready to go.
Yeah, the girls look anxious. They're all out in their regular clothing, and I'm sure we're going to have a good match tonight.
You and I have the benefit, we're under 10, and I plan on staying under here as much as I can. But we had a chance to talk to both of the head coaches beforehand. Head coach Alex Wynn of the Central Catholic Rams, head coach Andrew McElderry of the of Hood River of the Eagles, and of course he has a daughter playing in the game, so he was pretty excited to be here and play in the game. Both teams getting final instructions from their coaches and from the referees, and one of the things they do before every game is they check out the sticks to make sure that they're all regulation. You can see right now the girls are going down the line getting their sticks checked out. We'll get this game underway. The girls will play two I believe 25-minute halves. I think that's what's on the clock over there. I just looked, and we'll bring you the game in its entirety. We'll stay with you at halftime and talk a little bit about this. Both Steve and I have done a number of lacrosse games here recently, and we're kind of getting into the swing of things.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a good sport, and the more we learn about it, the more games we call, the more exciting they seem to be.
All right. Both teams come into action tonight. Central Catholic on the season, they are 1-5, and they also have a game they did not complete. That game was against Grant. Actually, Steve and I did that game earlier in the season. My understanding, and I'll update you on that this week, my understanding is they're going to complete that game next Monday night. So the Rams are 1-5 with that game to be completed. On the other hand, Hood River is 5-3. They're coming off a loss to Westview. So 5-3 for Hood River, 1-5 for the Rams. The referee coming out to center field now.
Yeah, girls lacrosse is quite an interesting game. A little bit different than the boys. Not as much contact, a little bit more finesse. They move the ball very quickly, and they run the field very nicely also. So we should see some good scoring. Hopefully the wetness will not affect the play too much tonight.
All right, in case you're unfamiliar with lacrosse field, let's see, lacrosse field, I'm trying to look at the dimensions here on my chart. It's 60 yards across, just a little bit wider than a football field. You can see the white lines here. There's a midfield area. Actually, there's three designated areas. There's a defensive area, a wing area, and an attack area, and the teams have to have so many players in each area at all times. 4 in the attacking area, 3 in the defensive area. You can see across the sideline from us, there's the scorers area. In front of that is the special substitution areas. Then we have the coaches area and the team benches behind there. The timer is over there. Both teams head out onto the field. There's a 9-foot radius around the goal.
It's called the crease.
It's called the crease, just like in hockey, and you can be in the crease and get a penalty for that.
Yep. Offensive players in the crease will get a penalty. I believe defensive players can go in the crease though.
All right, so Steve and I are over here. The scorers table is across the way. Our scores, our indication of who scored the goal will be unofficial. Actually, the only thing official about it is what Steve sees.
Well, it looks like we got some good numbers. I should be able to pick out a few of those.
Well, the teams will start off with a face-off. This is a very, very important part of this game because you control possession off the face-off. The boys actually get down on the ground when they do it. The girls are about shoulder length. Referee sets the ball, moves away, signals for and there's the toss, and it's controlled by Hood River. Hood River moving from our left to our right. They move in on goal. There's a
very quick go there.
Okay, did you see who scored the goal?
I think that was number, if she turns around, I'll be able to tell you. She's mixing it up. She's got a red headband.
Okay, Steve.
I'm waiting to see the
So-
numbers. Yeah,
Somebody is actually.
I think it's 24.
Okay. Hood
Yeah,
Ri-
it's either 24 or 34.
well, there is a 24.
24.
Okay. So Hood River breaks on top. First goal of the game. I'll get you the time on that in just a second. Scored by number 24.
Yeah, we're not. The clock is not showing us anything.
That is Emma Norris. Norris with the first goal of the game. Central Catholic with the ball inside. In lacrosse, it's not unusual for teams to play behind the net. In fact, it's very, very common. Much like hockey, get somebody centered behind the net and work for cutters coming down the lane.
Yeah.
Hood River with the ball. They lead in this game 1-0. And the timers are over there working desperately trying to get something on the clock. But I know a couple of other teams have complained that the clock, when they score a goal and post a goal, it resets the time. And maybe that's what happened.
Got some play behind the net here. We got some cutters coming in. Girls shifting on the field.
They like to set up behind the net and then get cutters come down the lane, see if you can get somebody for a clear shot one-on-one on the goalie. Hood River.
Is that another go?
All right.
No, we scored another go there. That one I'm not sure of. It may have been number... Is that number 8? May have been number 8 who scored that goal.
Number 8 would be Riley Bauer for Hood River.
I can't really, I'll let you know when she turns around if that's her or not.
Okay. Central Catholic. Cardinal
Good pass
and
there.
White.
Somebody open. That should be a shot.
There's a
Oh,
shot in
off the
on goal. Nice save by the goalie. Hood River's goalie with a nice save. Sends it out on top. Eagles with the ball as they move forward. We're right here. We're on the side of the field across from the scorer's table, and I think the people think that we have a camera in here
It's up in the
because they're all
stands.
ducking as they go by us. Our camera's actually up in the top of the stands. But okay. So our official score here right now is 2-0. 2-0 Eagles. We're just underway. First half. And there's the shot. There's the shot. I believe a goal, too. Referee stuck his hands up. I believe that's a goal.
They just put away the scoreboard.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to show us the time today.
All right, that is, in fact, what happened. The scoreboard isn't working. So time will be unofficial. We'll try to get you some kind of indication of what the time is, but that's going to be difficult. We will be able to get the goals, and we don't have a specific camera on the goal, so it'll be our best guess who scored the goal, but it is 3-0 right now. There's a face-off controlled by Hood River as they move forward. Hood River into the center, and the goalie knocks it away. Nice job by the goalie that time to direct the shot away from the net. Back out in front, and there's a shot, and there's another goal. We're just underway here, and already Hood River off to a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, Hood River's definitely on their game today. I think that I'm going to change that. I think that second goal was by number 9.
Okay, well, we'll credit the second goal to number 9, and number 9 would be the coach's daughter. That's Kat McElderry.
Yeah, I think that's who that is. That 9 is kind of circling up like an 8, but
She's a senior. 4-0. Here's the face-off. Referee set, steps away. There's the whistle, tossed up in the air, controlled by Hood River again. They are controlling those face-offs, and that's what's getting them downfield and shots on goal. Hood River with the ball out on top. They'll work it around the outside, seeing if they can free somebody up down the lane.
there's a cutter coming across. And Hood River has done a good job getting girls in position to shoot, either on an individual effort or by cutting.
Hood River out to center. Out there at center, that's Tara Mickelson. She'll set up the offense. Tries to get
There it is
inside,
there.
does. There's a shot, and there is a goal.
So Hood River did a good job that time being patient, finding a girl cutting straight down the center lane and got a good pass into her, and she was able to easily put it in the net.
I didn't see for sure. The goal might have been number 18. Lauren Trumbull. She comes off.
Yeah, I think she's an offensive player, and she'll come off. The defensive player will come on.
So we're going to credit that one. On my best estimate, that was Lauren Trumbull.
Looks like we have a clock now. It looks like it's 21 minutes left.
All right, they got the clock working. The score is 5-0. Is that what you see, Steve? 5-0?
Yes.
5-0. 21 minutes left to go here in this game. So hopefully we'll have the clock with us for now. There is a shot over the net. And I think the referee is signaling somebody was in the crease.
Oh, they awarded it to Hood River.
Ball to Hood River. Back behind the net. Eagles work it around. Out on top. Picked out there on top by number 9, Kat McElderry. She has a goal in the game.
And they're looking at different girls cutting.
Hood River's been very, very efficient. They've gotten in front of the net and gotten goals. 5 of them, to be exact. They send the ball back out on top. Thanks for joining us here. We're at Delta Park, Strasser Field. Hood River 5, Central Catholic nothing. 19:50 left to go here in the first half. Hood River inside. They have a girl inside. Can't get a shot away. Send it back behind the net. And back out on top. Hood River has managed to play very quickly so far up till now, and now they're slowing down, setting up a pace, working the ball around the outside, looking for somebody inside. That time, got it inside, no shot, sent it back out on top. Coach Andrew McElderry and the Hood River, 5-3 on the season. Back behind the net. Inside and back behind the net again, and that shot goes out of bounds, and that will be.
Oh, they go back to Hood River. They're the
Hood
only girls back there on the behind the net right now.
Defensive teams like to keep somebody back there for those out of bounds balls that they can get possession. Cutter inside, but they send the ball back out on top. Number 22 out there on top, Mickelson. Also number 24 out there, Emma Norris. Norris with the first goal of the game. Inside, dropped the ball. Looked like there was a cutter making a move towards the goal and then dropped the ball.
There must have been some penalty there.
So Eagles retain possession. They're up 5-0. 17:50 left to go in this one. Inside, shot,
Missed.
deflected away. Eagles come down with the ball. Time of the possession must be way lopsided at this point in time.
Yep.
Back behind the net.
One of the difference between the girls and the boys, when there's a penalty, they freeze and they resume play from where the penalty occurred.
If you were watching just a second ago, you saw a good example of cutting to the net. Hood River have a couple players off each side of the net, and they cut towards the middle, not able to get them a pass, but that's what they're trying to do right now. They have a couple of players on each side of the net, and they cut through like right there. That was Norris who cut through that time. And she'll go back and cut through the other way. They're still behind the net with the ball. Send it out on top. And now all the way back out on top. With a 5-0 lead, Hood River can afford to be a little patient with the ball right now. There's a whistle. Hood River. And the ball goes over to Central Catholic. Here they come forward. Not over midfield yet. Now they're over midfield and the Rams come forward, trailing 5-0.
Good speed there.
Rams. In goal. There's a goal. Did you see who got it?
Number. I need her to turn around so I can see her jersey.
Okay. Central Catholic breaks on with a goal, and that's scored at what time's on the clock, Steve?
Looks like 15:55.
Okay, that goal 15:55. That is the first Ram goal of the game and makes our score 5-1. In goal for Hood River is number 15, Ella Brand.
It's a nice goal that time. She came from behind the net and was cutting across the middle and was able to sneak that past the goalie.
Okay, were you able to see the number?
She's playing defense right now. I can't see her. She's in the middle front on the defense there.
Rams numbers are a little hard to read. Rams come up with the ball back. It's dropped, picked up again. Rams still have it. Fight inside. Rams get it and send it forward. And here come the Rams. Rams trying to get back in this, down 5-1. Ball loose, picked up. Rams still have it. Back out on top. They'll work their way inside, trying to get a shot off. And now picked up by Hood River. Here come Hood River forward over midfield. That's number 22, Tara Mickelson. Back behind the net.
Hood River's done a good job of field positioning, always keeping two girls or one girl behind the net. Ready for a pass through ball, lots of cutters, and a good rotation out there.
Hood River, Mickelson out on top of the ball. Dishes it off. That's McElderry. Both of those two girls have a goal in the game. Inside. And send it back out on top.
Again, some very patient play by Hood River. Oh,
Picked up by the Rams. They come forward quickly over midfield. Inside, can't get a shot away. That nice play that time for the Rams, that was made by number 10, and that's Molly McMullen. Here come the Hood River Eagles forward. Five to 1 our score.
I think that goal might have been by number 18 on Central Catholic.
All right, let's look and see who number 18 is. Well, they don't have a number 18,
Okay,
Steve.
so
Their numbers really are hard to read.
yeah.
They're gold lettering on white uniforms, and they're really hard to read.
Well, the goalie got caught out of the crease there, so she's got defense all around her.
The goalie did get caught way out of the crease that time. Fortunately, Hood River came up with the ball. Now the ball loose, rolling around, picked up by Central Catholic. Rams trying to pick the ball up. Difference between boys and girls sticks is that the girls don't have a pocket in theirs.
Oh, nice pass inside, but we didn't get a good shot off there. I think that's number 16 right here at the
Okay.
midfield was the girl who scored the goal.
Okay. Number 16, we'll credit that goal to Rachel Everly.
Central Catholic again, nice speed coming up the field. Defense is there, shot to go.
There's a goal. Rams come back with another goal. That coming at,
Is that 11:33 or?
it looks like that to me, 11:33. Did you see who scored the goal?
I see who it was, but these numbers are getting to me here. She's walking across midfield right now. She's stepping across midfield there. She's going to do the face-off, looks like.
Okay.
23.
Okay. So the Central Catholic goal, that goes to number 23, Ella Burgess. That coming at 11:33 left to go here in the first half. 5-2 our score. So the Rams, who got down 5-0, have come back with 2 goals of their own to get it to 5-2. And the referee waved off that face-off. What actually happened is the referee, I think, took a step back and the ball fell to the ground.
I think there's a certain motion the ball has to take for it to be a good face-off.
Well, most of them have gone up in the air.
Yeah, I think it has to go up in the air.
Since they don't have a pocket, it's hard to control them on a face-off. And way up in the air that time, Rams come down with it. They come forward and loose on the ground, picked up.
Not yet.
Not yet. One of the girls fell down on top of the ball.
That's one way to get possession. Let's see. They're awarding it to.
See how the players are stopped, waiting for the referee to go ahead and signal the action. And it's forward to Hood River. Eagles had 5 goals to start. Rams come back with 2. Rams could use another goal here. And the goalie saves that. Shot on goal, but saved. Back out on top. Eagles with the ball. With the ball, number 28, Lauren Orr.
Still coming off the 10. Nice pass inside there. Goalie blocks.
Nice save by the goalie that time.
Again, Hood River continues to make some good cuts and passes inside.
Eagles with the ball. Starts down inside, can't get there. The Eagles have a very, very tall player on the field right now. believe, what's the number? Number 26, is that her number? 20.
Nice pass, nice reception there.
Here come the Rams. Big collision. There's a collision, 2 players right down in front of us. One of those is Tara Mickelson. The other for the Rams is number 13, Julie Duong. Both players up. We're ready to start. Rams get the ball over midfield.
There's a lane here down the middle.
After being down by 5, Rams would like to cut this to 2 right here. 9:09 left to go here, first half. We are at Delta Park. We're on the main field at Delta Park. Central Catholic, Hood River, 5-2. Eagles lead right now. Rams trying to get back within 2. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Oregon Sports Beat. We have a big week coming up for you, and we'll tell you about that at halftime.
There's a good pass inside. Central Catholic using their height here a little bit.
Goalie, that's Ella Rand for Hood River. She's set in the goal. She got caught out of the goal here just a few minutes ago, managed to make up for that. And there's another goal.
Good individual effort there, athleticism to make some nice cuts.
And that coming at 8:00. All right. I believe it's 8:16.
It looks like we have a timeout here. I can't catch the number of the girl who scored the goal there. I think I'm going to have to start bringing my binoculars to the game.
I think we might. Well, this is the first time I think we've had one. It's overcast. It's
yeah,
gray
that
and overcast.
grayness is kind of.
The Rams uniforms are tough to pick up the numbers because of the color situation. But Steve, you have to think you get down 5-0 right within the first 10 minutes of the game. You're down 5-0. Some teams might just collapse at that point in time. Not the Rams, and the Rams have picked up the pace of their own and reeled off 3 straight goals. They're only down 2 now, 5-3.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot depends on what kind of experience the team has had, how much play they've had, how many times they've been in this situation before. You know, good players are going to play their hardest no matter what. They're always going to be out there playing hard, and that's how you get back in a game. And that's why games go, they're not over until they're over. You can never tell. Even though Hood River got an early lead here, you know, the game is easily anybody's game at this point.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, with the Rams scoring 3 straight and looking like they're the stronger team right now, you know, you have to wonder how do you get off to such a bad start and fall behind 5-0. And I think that in the beginning there, Hood River just, their tempo was up, their speed was up, they got good shots in the middle. Since then, the defense has thickened up.
Yep, it's thickened up a little bit. The Rams have had some good individual play. I think 2 of those goals came off of girls who carried the ball into the goal for a shot by themselves. They didn't get a pass, so a lot of good individual effort here for the Rams to get themselves back in this game here. Defense on both ends, you know, has been pretty good. The Rams picked up their defense on Hood River, which kept Hood River passing the ball a lot. And then the Rams came up with a couple of steals down there on the defensive end that helped them get back into this also.
All right, our engineer, Jim Thompson, just took our crowd mic and moved it because it was raining on it. And the problem what we're having right now with the clock is somebody standing in front of the 3rd digit.
Yeah, it looks like there's something blocking it there.
Like a...
all we see is 8.
That's
Yeah,
what I
'cause
see as an 862.
But, you know, the numbers can't be 8-6.
Is there a 1 in there somewhere? Maybe 816?
No,
Maybe it's not a 6.
Maybe it's not the 3rd digit.
Maybe it's a 5.
Maybe it's the first digit that's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they're having some trouble with the clock, and we're working our best on that.
And I think we got 8 minutes something.
All right, this is a face-off coming up after Central Catholic gets the third goal in a row. Coach Alex wins Rams coming back from a 5-0 deficit. There's the ball up in the air, and it's going to be controlled by Hood River as they come forward. That time the tip was controlled by number 1, and that's Josie Peterson. Hood River. They get inside, dish the ball off, not able to get a shot off inside.
Central Catholic continues to play defense in front of the net. They're not worrying about the girls behind the net too much. They just want to make sure that nobody's in a shooting position.
Eagles with the ball in front, tries to get off a shot there. Whistle, play stops. All right, the referee's talking this over. Action stops, set to resume. There's the whistle, action starts.
Looks like there was a shot there, but blocked by the goal.
Goalie sends it back out. Loose on the ground.
Taken.
Picked up by the Eagles. Not able to get a shot off. Good job by the Rams defensively. Since they gave up those 5 goals, they have tightened up defensively.
Yeah, the feet are moving more on the defense. They're making sure they're getting into the line that they need to get into on defense to keep those shots from coming too easily.
All right, I'm looking at the clock now. Does the clock look like it says 6:54?
6:21.
6:20. All right. All right, so
that's
6:20 left to go here in this half.
We got another goal scored there. I'm not sure who that was on, though. I was kind of looking at the clock.
6-3.
But, you know, the scoring is happening a lot. Game is exciting that way. You know, keeps the spectators very much into it.
So we'll come back out for a face-off. So the Rams, after cutting the lead from 5-0 to 5-3, give up a goal. And now it's 6-3. We've had 9 goals here in the first half. Face-off coming up. There's the whistle. There's the throw, controlled by Hood River. Part of their success getting off to that 5-0 lead was controlling those face-offs.
Oh, there's a girl there. Oh, she missed the pass. It was a nice cut there all alone.
There was a cutter who got right in front of the goal and then missed on the pass to her. You can see the goalie there with that big net that she has, or big stick that she has there, and she is watching the corners of that net. Sticks the net up above, or sticks the stick up above the goal, and that's trying to prevent passes from the back to the front. That's a good move.
Good block there by the goalie.
The goalie blocked a low shot that time. Great job. Here come the Rams forward over midfield.
Tried to pass it inside there, missed that pass.
Hood River intercepts, sends it forward over the head of Mickelson. And we got a player down.
Looks like she may have got a cramp in her leg there.
All right, the player's down in front of us. The trainer is over. Both teams will leave the field. You can see everybody leaves their stick exactly where they were standing. And I I don't want to speculate, but certainly had all the indications she had a cramp.
You know, you have this weather, it's damp, it gets chilly. The girls are playing and almost playing in their summer uniforms, looks like. So, you know, they can get chilled very quickly. But whatever happened, the official saw it right away and called a time on the field.
Yeah, you have to credit the official with that. He saw that immediately and stopped the action. All right. Looks to me like number 5. Is that what you see, Steve?
Yeah, number 5. And I think they're going to take her off the field here.
And she's kind of hobbling a little bit. That's Charlotte Hankin. She's getting some assistance from some of the coaches.
She's putting a little bit of pressure on it, so it must be soothing up a little bit. She's no longer hopping.
Charlotte Hankin, the player down for Central Catholic. She's up. Okay, Steve, you got the time on the clock?
I think we got 4:52.
4:52 left to go here in the first half. 25-minute halves.
So what happened there is the girls all dropped their sticks in their positions because it's almost like a freeze when that whistle blows, and then they have to go back to the positions they were in when the whistle was blown to resume play.
All right, here comes Hood River forward, leading 6-3. A lob inside, cross the net, back behind the net. Josie Peterson out on top now for Hood River. Eagles.
Blocked by the
Collision.
goalie.
Goalie with a nice job that time. Back behind the net.
There's a cutter there. Oh, didn't handle it, but she picked it up.
Picked back up by Hood River. Hood River working around the outside. They have a 3-goal lead at 6-3. Here comes the cutter down the lane. A shot blocked and goes out of bounds. And it'll be Hood River ball.
Good hustle there by the shooter to get back there so they can maintain possession of the ball.
3:25 left to go here, first half. 6-3, Hood River over Central Catholic. Hood River with the ball. And we got a whistle. Action stops. Tries to get a shot off, can't. And down the lane comes a cutter, shoots the ball, and there's a goal that time. We clearly could see who had scored that goal.
Yep.
That goal was scored by number 14, Katie Koenig.
Yeah, I think she was the one who had the opportunity earlier, and she did a nice, almost like a give and go play there.
That coming. 2:13
13.
left in the first half. Makes the score now 7-3. 5 straight goals for Hood River, 3 straight goals for Central Catholic. Now 2 more for Hood River makes it 7-3. Face off at center. Again, that goal was by Katie Koenig. There it is up in the air. And controlled by Central Catholic. Rams come forward. Down the middle. Let's see if we take a shot. And there's a shot. And
go there.
That's a goal. An unassisted goal all the way down the middle and put it in the net. Okay, watch and see if you can see who got that goal, Steve. I see her out there at the end.
I think it was the girl who did the face-off right there, right? Yeah, she's
Yep.
right here. She's going to be doing another face-off. 22 was that? Or is that? She's doing the face-off again.
What's her number?
Either 22 or 23. I can't really. 23, I think.
Okay. 23. That's the second goal of the game for Ella Burgess. Unassisted. She won the face-off, took it down the whole half of the field, and put it in the net. She went in alone, walked in alone on the goalie. Here comes Hood River back. 7-4 now, our score. I'd say we're under 2 minutes, but nobody started the clock yet. Seven to 4. Hood River with the ball.
There may be a. Oh, they lost the clock.
Okay, so we know there's 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes now left to go here in the first half. 7 to 4. Eagles with the ball. Nice goal that time by Burgess. In fact, the last 2 Ram goals have been scored by Burgess. The goalie falls down, gets up in time.
Okay.
Gets up, but the goalie was not able to get up in time, and there was a goal.
I think that was number 24.
All right, that would be Emma Norris, who scored the first goal of the game. 8-4 our score now.
Again, Hood River is taking advantage of those cutters coming across the lane there and getting some good passes inside to them to get some nice scores. They'll shoot high, they're shooting low, they're shooting off the ground, so they're mixing it up quite a bit. Hard job for the goalie.
Right, we know Norris has at least 2 goals. Kat McElderry has a goal. For Central Catholic, Burgess has 2, Ella Burgess. Ball flipped up in the air. Rams send it forward, picked up off the ground. And the Rams come forward. Eagles get the ball back. We were getting close to the end of the first half. I believe we have less than a minute to go, but the clock is out again.
So the girls are going to look up. They're going to try to shoot early here if they can get control of this.
We're not sure, but I'm pretty sure that we're under a minute, so there's not a lot of time left here in the first half. Again, our score right now is 8-4. Ball loose. It's going to be picked up by the Rams. Rams have a long way to go. They have a long way to go and a short time to get there.
They find a cutter again. Oh, goalie blocked the first one, but it's picked up and scored. Yep.
22?
I
Was that
think so. I think that's 22.
Okay. And 22 is Tara Mickelson.
It's a good second effort by her to get that goal that time.
Okay, 9-4 then is our score. 9-4. Hood River over Central Catholic. We're approaching halftime. That goal was by number 22, Taryn Mickelson. Mickelson has played out on top for a lot of the game, but that time took it inside. She was standing right in front of the goalie. Goalie had her stick up, and she just shot it down low. All right, Rams have the ball. Start forward. Rams on the attack. Rams behind the net, send it into a cutter. A shot scooped up in front of the net. Hood River has it. And there's the horn. That is the end of the first half. Our score at the end of the first half, Hood River 9, Central Catholic 4. And an interesting played game. Those first 5 goals of the game by Hood River are the difference right now.
Both teams picked up their play the second part of this half. Both of them scoring quite a few goals. scoring quickly, both sides, as the clock started getting towards the end of the half.
My God, yeah, that's right. We just got another.
All right, I'll recap this goal scoring for you as best I can. Keep in mind, for the first 10 minutes of the game, the clock was out, so we can't tell you the times on those goals. I can tell you the sequence on those goals, and on some of the goals, we're not able to identify the player because we couldn't get the numbers correctly at that time. So, recapping, here are the 13 goals that were scored in the first half. The first goal of the game came early on in the game, Hood River, and that was number 24, Emma Norris, with the goal. Shortly after that, another goal for Hood River, and that was scored by Kat McElderry. That made it 2-0. Two more goals scored in short order there for Hood River, goal number 3 and goal number 4. I don't have the time on those because the clock was out and we don't have the goal score for you. The fifth goal, though, for Hood River, that was scored by number 18, Lauren Trumbull, and that made our game 5-0 Hood River. The first goal of the game then for Central Catholic Rams, that came at 15:55 left to go in the first half, and that goal was scored by Rachel Everly. That was followed up at 11:33 left to go in the first half, and that goal was scored by Ella Burgess for the Rams. Then another goal by the Rams at 8:16. Not able to tell you who the exact goal scorer. If we can find any of this information out from the official score, we will for you. That made her score 5-3. Hood River came back with a goal at 6:20 left to go, and that made our score 6-3 in favor of Hood River. Hood River followed that up a goal with 2:13 left to go in the half. That coming by Katie Koenig, and our score was 7-3. Rams came right back though. Got a goal at about 2 minutes to go in the half. 3, Ella Burgess scored that goal. That made our score 7-4. But two more goals in the final 2 minutes of the half by Hood River. One scored by number 24, Emma Norris. That was her second goal of the game. And another scored by number 22, Tara Mickelson. And that made our score where it is right now at halftime, 9-4, Hood River leading Central Catholic. Steve, comments about the game? Probably the biggest factor in the game is rushing out to a 5-goal lead to start the game.
Yes, so that's hard. It's a hard score to make up, especially when both teams are still continuing to score as they're scoring. I suspect that Central Catholic will continue to try to score quickly because they want to kind of chip away at that deficit as quickly as they can. Although Hood River, they picked up the pace when they needed to. They played a little bit of slow down, passed the ball around, looking for a good opportunity. But as it got later into the half, they began to pick up their play and started creating shots for themselves. There was a lot of good individual effort on Central Catholic to score a few of their goals, where the girls had to work real hard themselves, made some nice cuts inside, and were able to get good shots off. We'll probably see a bit more of that also. I think originally Hood River was controlling the faceoffs, but I think that kind of changed and it went more towards Central Catholic in the second half of the half.
All right, if you're the Hood River Eagles, you broke out to a 5-0 lead. You from there on out, the game was pretty much even up, 4 goals to 4 goals. What do you do in the second half to protect that 5-goal lead you have right now?
My coaching experience, I've done both things. I've just tried to protect the goal, and then sometimes I had the girls go out and play the same way they started off and not really worried about the score. So I suspect that they're going to continue to play their same game. They're going to look for goals when they can, maybe start off the half a little bit more conservative, passing the ball around a little bit, looking to see when they get a good shot to take it. If Central Catholic comes back and scores a couple of goals, then I'll probably see a change in strategy where the girls begin to look at creating more situations for themselves and not just waiting for opportunities to occur.
All right, you're the Rams. You now got a 5-goal deficit, which you had early on in the first half. What do you do different?
Well, I'm going to encourage some of the girls to continue their individual effort when they get an opportunity and they get a lane to go ahead and take it in and take the shot. At the same time, you want to make sure you keep all the girls involved in the play because that's going to open up some nice shots for you later on in the half. So they'll probably continue to go hard and fast at the beginning, again, to chip away at that score. And then we'll see both teams settle in during the middle of the half. But then depending on the score towards the end of the half, we might have another 4-4 run or 2-2 run like we had this at the end of this first half.
Teams are back out on the field ready to go. I imagine nobody wanted to take a long halftime. And with a face-off for Hood River, that's number 25, Blair Holman. Referee sticks the ball up, puts it in the sticks. We're going to get this going in the second half right away. 9-4 our score. Hood River leads Central Catholic. Clock set at 25 minutes. All right, there's a shot up in the air. This time, Hood River will move from our right to our left, and they're coming forward. Number 18 dishes it off on the wing, and we'll have to see here. 9-4 our score.
You know, there is some rule about the line of sight that a defensive player can get in. It's a nice score, easy score there.
Easy score for Hood River there. You can catch the number, Steve. Did you get it?
I didn't. I'm waiting to see who they're slapping sticks with.
Well, that's a great.
That's a good sign.
That's
right
a good
there.
indicator.
No, I'm sorry I missed that one there. It happened very quick.
It was a nice goal. That goal coming. Can you see the
Body language tells me number 14, but I could be wrong.
What's the time there?
Oh, the clock looked like it hasn't moved yet.
Okay, I had to look. That's what it looked like to me. The clock didn't move.
Still saying 25 minutes.
The goal then is by Katie Koenig, her second goal of the game. And that makes our score 10-4. And this is the way the first half started. 5 quick goals by Hood River. Central Catholic moving from our left to our right. They have the ball. They're in on goal, the goalie for Hood River, Ella Rand.
Looking for opportunities here. Cradling the ball a bit. Need to maintain possession.
Rams. 10-4. Move in. The shot behind the net. And the referee, I haven't seen the signal yet from the referee.
There was something happening in the lane there. Might have been a penalty before the shot. Looks like they're going to give it to a Central Catholic player. Yes, she's cutting down the lane there. So they're about to resume play here. There's a low shot, but the goalie picks it up. And Hood River is on the run again, coming back up. Nice pass up. They got a lone player in the middle. They give it to her. She's all by herself. She's going towards the goal. She looks to pass.
10-4 our score. Hood River forward looking for another goal.
I think they may have gotten another goal.
Yep, that's what happened. That's another goal. Another goal for Hood River. 11-4 now our goal. The clock is not running, so I can't give you an official time on that.
Body language tells me either number 8 or number 10, but I can't tell for sure who scored that goal.
Well, let's see who is moving forward then. Okay, I think the goal, I was watching, I think the goal is number 8, and that's one of the captains, Riley Bauer.
It might have been number 9 or 10. Well, we'll see.
Okay, so
Again,
unofficially we've credited that to Bauer.
Yeah. Again, they found a Hood River player alone, number 24, right in the crease there, and was able to put that in.
So they started this game, Hood River started the game with 5 quick goals in succession. Now they've started the second half with 3 quick goals in the succession to run this score to 12-4. And you said number 24.
I believe it was, yes.
24 is that's the hat trick for Emma Norris. She scored the first goal. She just scored that goal, and she had one in between. So Norris now has 3 goals in the game. The score is 12-4. Teams light up for a face-off. This is starting to look like a repeat of the first half when Hood River broke out to 5 straight goals. They move in quickly on goal after winning the faceoff, and they continue to win faceoffs.
Yeah, they're wasting no time getting down there towards the goal. If they can get a shot early, they're taking it.
Clock is not running, so
Very quick team. 2 of those goals came off of quick passes to a player alone in the middle early in the half.
back behind the net, Hood River, they lead in this game 12-4. There's a shot out in front, picked up by Hood River. Move in, try to get a shot away, can't. Instead, pass in front, and a whistle. Action stopped.
So we're about to resume play here.
Action picks back up. 12-4 our score. Right in front, a shot.
You know, I think that was 20 blue headband, light blue headband. I think number 20. It's kind of trailing the crowd there. 23. 23, I think, scored that goal.
Okay, let's look. 23 for Hood River is Eleanor Barton.
We have a timeout here. You know, I think Central Catholics wants to slow down Hood River a little bit. That's 4 goals very quickly there, just the same way they started off the game.
If you think about this, there's been kind of 3 sections to this game. The first section was the first 10 minutes of the game when Hood River put up 5 unanswered goals and led 5-0. The next 15 minutes of the game, the teams played pretty even. 4 goals for Hood River, 4 goals for Central Catholic, and it was 9-4. Now we have the start on, my guess is it's the first 5 minutes here of the second half, and Hood River's put up 4 more goals. All told, that's 13 goals for Hood River, with at least 4 in every period I just designated, and 4 for Central Catholic. So this game, at the beginning of the game and the beginning of the second half, this game has gotten away from Central Catholic.
Yeah, Central Catholic's defense, they let the girls come down the middle after the face-off, and Hood River got a couple of easy shots on goal then. Hood River, though, has been very aggressive going to the goal very quickly at the start of the half, just as they did at the start of the game. We might see a little bit of slowdown here where they work the ball around more, using some of the clock and working for a good shot. We'll see what the coach asked them to do at that timeout there. I imagine Central Catholic is going to try to get the ball quickly, get down and get some shots off very quickly to try to get a few chip away at this lead a little bit.
We have a tent. We're sitting here in a tent. Jim Thompson, our engineer, Steve Roberts, Dave Hall. We're sitting here in a tent. You'd think we would be not wet. We are. It's raining in here. Jim has this worried look on his face because we have thousands of dollars worth of electrical equipment sitting in puddles.
Yeah, it's that slow drizzle rain where you don't see the water coming, but it builds up on the tent and kind of slowly drips off into different places.
Our cameraman's up in the stands in his own tent. You know, these girls are out on the field. They're soaked, and we're complaining.
Yeah, we got to give it to them.
They'd trade places with us probably in a second.
You know, true athletes here. There.
All right. Hood River with the ball.
There's a cutter there, number 8. Goalie blocks it.
Okay, nice job by the goalie that time to block it. Central Catholic picks up the ball, and here they come forward. The scoreboard is turned on, but it's not functional. There's a nice block by the goalie that time. Cutter came right in on the goalie, bounced the ball in front of her, and she came up with a save. That's Ella Randall. Here comes Hood River forward.
I keep saying number 8, but I think that's number 9 back there. Yeah, I think that's number 9. I keep calling number 8.
That's Kate McElderry. Right in front of us is number 0, and that's Kiyakawa.
Again, Hood River goes in, fakes little, looks like she's going to go high, and then she puts the ball down low on the goalie there to score.
Okay, I have the score 14-4. I know over on the scoreboard it says 4-0, but the score is actually 14-4. Did you see the number of the girl who scored?
I did not. Yeah, they have 14 now. They blinked it on. Still have no time though.
Okay, 14-4 is the score. This is the biggest lead of the game for Hood River, 10 goals.
You know, I think the Hood River coach said the girls came off of a hard loss, so, you know, they're anxious to play, and that might be why they're scoring these goals like they're scoring, is because of that last game. They want to make up for it.
The coach told us they had played tough teams. And they're 5-3 coming in, Hood River is. Hood River 5-3, Central Catholic 1-5. I mentioned they have a makeup game coming with Grant, and the unofficial word is that game may be next Monday night. All right, that was a goal.
Yes, and I'm waiting to pick up the number here. She's coming back. She's actually number 13, I think it is. Is that 13 there?
Okay.
Right here at the top of the circle on this side.
Actually, that goal was scored by one of the team captains, number 13, and that's Daisy Dolan. The interesting about that is her parents came by and talked to us before the start of the game. I said, "Do you have a player in the game, Lily?" The lady said, "Yes, Daisy Dolan." I said, "Okay, we'll make sure that we watch."
Here's a
And
good
she
shot.
just
out
got
to
a
Daisy.
goal.
Yeah.
Okay, Central Catholic with the ball. 15-4 our score.
It's 23 going in, looking, passing out.
Hood River with the ball, and they have won so many face-offs today. That has to be troubling for Central Catholic, that they've been able to get those face-offs and come right down and score. That's a goal.
That's
Another
number
goal.
9. Number 9 that time.
Number 9 is Kat McElderry.
Again, some good individual play. Girls making some nice cuts, using their athleticism to get inside to get a shot on goal.
It was 9-4 at halftime. It's 16-4 now. 7 unanswered goals here in the second half.
You know, it's a little bit different than boys, where you can actually get in front and block the players. And girls, you can't really block players like that. So you have to really position yourself, get your sticks in the right spots to help out the goalie there. Otherwise, it's often just her and the shooter.
I mentioned earlier now that Emma Norris has a hat trick. I'm not quite sure because we have a couple of goals not accounted for on players for Hood River. McElderry has at least 2 that we know of. Again, the ball controlled by Hood River.
Hood River is doing a good job seeing that ball also off the face-off. The girls go like straight to the ball, and without breaking a stride, they're able to pick it up, cradle it, and move up the field.
We've had 20 goals in this game. Unfortunately, 16 of them have come for Hood River.
So Hood River looks at passing it around. They're going to play until they find a good opportunity. Oh, it looks like we might have a card here. Yeah, a yellow card. It's the first one I think we've seen.
It is the first one. I'm not sure the player's number. She's headed off the field right there.
That's a penalty, so she's in the penalty box, I believe.
I'm not quite sure. I didn't see the signal on the penalty. It could be 30 seconds, could be a minute.
Yeah. I think what she did is I think she actually came down the stick on the player's hands. I'm not sure, though.
Thanks for joining us here at Delta Park. Oregon Sports Beat bringing you this exciting girls lacrosse match between Central Catholic and Hood River. I'm Dave Hall along with Steve Roberts. Hood River comes in. Eagles with the ball around the top. They lead 16-4. A shot in front, or a pass in front of the net, couldn't get a shot off.
So again, Hood River looking for the right opportunity here.
Am I blocking your view, Steve?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. I'm huddled up in the corner.
A lot of motion out there going on. We got girls cutting. We got girls on the perimeter rotating around. They're passing the ball around well, looking for a shot. Looks like we have a freeze here.
All right, play resumes behind the net, Hood River. They get set to come forward, out in front. Send the ball around the outside. Ball loose in front of the net, picked up, and the Rams have it. Now, a bunch of players behind the net. Here come the Rams
There's
forward.
a break there. Oh, but she lost it. One other thing about their sticks, they can't actually, that ball is not actually sitting in a pocket there, so they have to cradle their sticks, or what looks like rocking their sticks to keep that ball into the net while they move.
The Rams try to come forward. There's a long pass. Picked up. Rams over midfield. Now there's a fight for the ball. Hood River comes up with the ball and they move back. Because there's no pouch on the ball in the girls' game, it makes it more difficult in the rainy weather.
Yes.
Ball loose.
Easier to knock the ball out of the stick, and it's a little bit harder to carry it. More skill involved in this game.
There was a pass inside, not able to get a shot off. Goalie doing a good job of blocking the net that time.
It's good defense here so far by Central Catholic.
When the Rams come down and get set, their defense looks pretty good. It's those breakaways on the face-off that have killed the Rams. But when they set up and get a set defense going, they look real good on defense.
Yeah, they're playing very conservative. They're not sending any girls behind the nets. They when the ball goes behind the nets, the girls stay on the goal line and watch what the girls are going to do with the ball. But they're not getting anybody out of the position, so they can always give the goalie a little bit more help.
All right, action stop. Again, our score here at Delta Park. Hood River 16, Central Catholic 4. Can't tell you the time because the clock isn't working. Scoreboard does have the right score, 16-4, but the time has been problematic all game. Central Catholic, I'm sorry, Hood River has a player, number 28. Her name is Lauren Orr. We were standing by her at the beginning of the game. I'm pretty sure she's about 6'2", 6'3". She gets over on the side there and sticks her stick up in the air. And she makes a big target.
I've been looking for that play coming down the middle when they had that ball behind the net. We'll see what happens.
All right, play stop behind the net. Now we're going forward. Rams have the ball. Trying to get over midfield. Now they do. Here come the Rams forward.
Got a little lane here. We'll see how far she goes in. Defense picks her up. There's a cutter there coming across. Nice catch. Oh.
A shot wide to the left of the net.
So some good ball motion there by Central Catholic to find that girl cutting. Oh, dangerous move. There's no goalie in there. She can't get it in. Oh.
Ball laying right in front of the net, picked up by the goalie. The goalie has it, retreats, looks for some help. And possession, I believe, is going to change. I believe it's going to go, nope. But the goalie's got to get back to the net.
Yeah, that was a little bit dangerous there. She was out of the net, and there was a stolen ball, but the girl could not cradle it to get it into the goal. Get a good shot on the goal.
Ball loose, picked up by Hood River. For a game with 20 goals, we've not had any in about the last 3 or 4 minutes.
It's kind of slowed down a bit here in the middle of this half. Also, the girls have been playing at a pretty good pace, so you know it's getting a little bit late here. They've been moving quite a bit.
Across the front, can't get a shot away, sends it back behind the net.
So it looks like they have an outside rotation and an inside rotation going on here as they continue to play.
Hood River moving the ball around the outside. Haven't sent a cutter down the lane here. There's one. Tries to get inside for a shot, turns around, sends it back out on top.
The individual effort. So it looks like the offense is trying to get the defense to collapse more inside, and what happens here is they slowly push the defense down deep inside so that they can get closer to the goal for a shot.
Go in front of the net that time. Still can't get the ball in there. Back behind the net. And it'll be...
Oh, is there a timeout here? They dropped their sticks.
There's a timeout. Timeout on the field. Our score here at Delta Park. It's Hood River 16, Central Catholic 4. We're close to the end portion of the second half.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what our time is on the clock here. And
we're not trying to belay that point, but there's no clock on in the field, although there's one down at the end. So there's a clock over the scorer's table right at midfield. We started the game and it went out, and it's been out most of the game. We do have the goal scores up there at 16-4, as I mentioned earlier. But the time, well, that's a different story. And so we're not quite sure where we are, although I think we're probably under 10 minutes to play.
I would agree with that. That's what my instincts tell me. We might even be getting around the 5-6 minute mark, and that's why they called a timeout here. Just so both the team who called the timeout could finish this game strong.
Okay. Our engineer, Jim Thompson, was shaking his head. I think he has some sort of unofficial clock going. Very unofficial.
It's been about 15 minutes since we started the quarter.
Okay. Jim says about 15 minutes since we started the quarter, so probably under 10 minutes.
Girls are coming back on.
I was following the ball last time, and as the ball moved down, I saw a little thing flash across my eyes, and I thought that was a pass when I realized there was no raindrop.
Yeah, you have to give it to the girls who are being true athletes out here. You know, being tough warriors as they play in this weather. It's getting a little bit chilly, but I'm sure they're running around a lot, and so they're keeping themselves warm that way. But they have not let the rain affect their play at all. That both teams have been scoring and both teams have been playing hard.
All right, we're back underway. Central Catholic sends the ball ahead, loose, picked up by Hood River. That's Orr with the ball. Moves in on goal, can't get a shot away, sends it off on the side. Eagles still with the ball. We've been at 16-4 now for a couple of minutes. The pace was frenetic up till that. That ball sent out high on top. Hood River sends it around the top.
So we got rotation going out wide here, and then we get a cutter going through.
Right, Hood River still with the ball, content to pass around the outside right now, looking for something secure in the middle.
Yes, they're playing for a good opportunity here. They're not going to force anything. They're not going to rush anything. The score and the clock are on their side, so they're going to play for a good opportunity here to make sure they get a good shot off.
Head coach Andrew McElderry content to just have Hood River look for that great shot in the middle.
It really does a good job of passing.
Behind the net, comes forward, not able to get a shot off. And they're just rotating people behind the net,
Yeah.
getting the ball to them and letting them come forward and circle around the net.
Yeah, they do sometimes they do an outside rotation. Sometimes they rotate cutters through the middle. We're playing what looks to be like an inside-outside game right now, hoping to find an opportunity.
You can see they went right by the net that time, and they've been content to do that. Inside, sends it in front. A rush on the net that time. Back behind the net, they're going to set up somebody in front again.
There was a little pick there. I hadn't seen many of those, but there was a girl actually there. Number 9 was setting a pick there for, I think, number 10 to come around and get that pass.
Here come the Rams forward. They have not been forward in a while.
Good speed there.
Ball loose, picked up right away by Hood River. And this time picked up going the other way. Now scooped up Hood River down the middle. Decides not to shoot. That was Orr.
Yeah, they're looking for that lone player there.
In on the net and back behind the net. They're going to set somebody up like they've been doing. Eagles around the top, turn down the lane. And there's the ball loose. Here come the Rams forward. They have a couple of players. They have 3 players forward.
Good pass there, a little bit behind her.
Rams still keep possession. In the middle, ball picked up. Controlled by the Rams. The Rams looking, I think, to get outside and set this up, and that's what they're going to do. There's a
Nice
pass
pass
right.
inside there. Oh, but blocked by the goalie. I think she was in a little bit too tight.
It was a great pass to a cutter right on the net, and the goalie managed to stop that. Ella Rand, the goalie for Hood River.
You know, when you get too close to the goalie, you take away all your angles there, and the goalie actually has a better opportunity of blocking the shot.
And there was another play where a pass inside to a cutter right on the net.
That's
Couldn't get
another
the
one.
shot. That was a great save. Hood River with the ball. It was 9-4 at halftime. It's 16-4 now. Hood River leads. If you get a chance, get out and see a lacrosse game, boys or girls. They're fast-paced, action all the time, hard hitting. Okay, Eagles behind the net. Send it out on top.
So good hit time here. Hood River is spending time, you know, using some of the clock, passing the ball around, working on their rotations.
There is the horn. And is that the end of the game? That is, I believe. I believe that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
It is the end of the game.
Body language is telling me it's the end of the game.
Well, it was the horn, so that was my first conclusion. My second was the players started shaking hands.
It's kind of hard to know without the clock there. So both
I
teams
thought
get
I
together.
thought there was at least a couple of minutes left, but that is the end of the game. Our final score here at Delta Park, the Hood River Eagles 16, the Central Catholic Rams 4. Our score was 9-4 at halftime, so 7 goals in the second half by Hood River. On those goals, Katie Koenig got the first one, Riley Bauer with a goal, Emma Norris with a goal. That was a hat trick for her. Eleanor Barton with a goal, Daisy Dolan with a goal, and Kat McElderry with a goal. So 7 goals in the second half for the Hood River Eagles. Puts this game away at 16-4. So final thoughts about the game, Steve?
Well, you know, obviously Hood River had a very good game tonight. They scored well, scored quickly to start off the game, kept the pressure off of themselves so that they could work the ball and score again. Central Catholic has to be commended for staying in the game, playing hard throughout the game, and they actually did a good job of keeping the game interesting for everybody here. And they worked on some of their plays, got some good shots off on the inside, good individual effort on Central Catholic's part.
All right. You've been at Delta Park tonight here on Oregon Sports Beat. I want to tell you a little bit about us. We are the high school sports leader in Oregon, bringing you all kinds of high school sports. Now, we were here at Delta Park tonight for a girls lacrosse game. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, we are going to be at Fern Hill Park in North Portland, and we're going to bring a track meet. That's the track meet between Central Catholic and Oregon City, Central Catholic and Oregon City at Fernhill Park. Oregon Sports Beat has been there before. We were there last year for a cross-country meet. So it's a great facility, and we'll bring you that track meet. Join us at 4 o'clock. Then coming up on Friday night, we're going to be at Lake Ridge High School to bring you baseball. We were there last Friday night at 5 o'clock, and we brought you the Lake Ridge game between Tualatin. That was an exciting game. Lake Ridge came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, only to lose that game 5-2. It was an exciting game. Well, we're going to bring you Lake Ridge and Tigard on Friday night at 5 o'clock. So join us at Lake Ridge High School or catch us on Oregon Sports Beat. So those are the things we have coming up the next week. So final thoughts, Steve?
It's always a pleasure to be out here. Both teams played well and hard tonight. You know, I enjoyed the lacrosse. Always seeing something new, always learning something new. So the girls need to be commended for bearing this weather and giving us a good game.
All right. Great facilities here at Delta Park. Get out and see a game. I want to thank the head coaches for both of these teams. Andrew McElderry for Hood River, Alex Wynn for Central Catholic for their assistance to us before the start of the game. So on behalf of our crew tonight, our cameraman, producer Ryan Johnson, our engineer, and unofficial timekeeper, scorekeeper, all those kind of things, Jim Thompson, my broadcast partner, Steve Roberts. I'm Dave Hall. We're our final score tonight from Delta Park in girls lacrosse. Hood River 16, Central Catholic 4. Good night, everybody.